going to let this Lost Sector play out and just kind of ramble. No cut, no edit, just talk. When it comes to Destiny 2, I'm not certain what we want as players anymore. Like, I get that a lot of us are trying to just fight for what we want in the game, want what we want to be enjoyable. But there's no consistency to it, and it's kind of driving me nuts. Like, I understand that some players just don't want grind, they don't like RNG, they don't really like the concept of looter shooter, but Destiny is a pretty space magic game that has been spoon-feeding us for 10 years, so they just ignore it. But at its core, Destiny is a looter shooter. It is an MMO, ARPG, looter shooter style game that takes key aspects to all of those things. And I'm not going to get into how much I hate crafting, because, like, ugh. But I do want to talk about the Edge of Fate changes and a lot of the things that people are having problems with and why I don't fully understand those complaints or criticisms. Starting with Armor 3.0. I get it. I do. You want to be able to, day one, get your gear, do what you want, make perfect builds, have 200 stats and all the stats you want. I understand. I do. But you're not getting that. You shouldn't get that. None of us should. Looter shooters and MMOs and these type of games are typically done through a progression system. You take any well-received game that is in this style of progression, you're going to see a lot of people who hard commit, people who full send the game, because that is what these games are trying to incentivize. Destiny has not done that in a while, and I do believe that is mostly because Bungie has been trying to keep a consistent player base with newer players coming in and leaving and coming in and leaving, but that just hasn't been working for them. So now they're finally going back to, we're going to incentivize we're going to incentivize people who enjoy the grind, people who want to build craft, people who want to find small upgrades for their gear over time and harder activities to optimize those activities and their loadouts for said activities. And personally, that is what I want. That is what I have wanted for a long time. And we just haven't been getting that for whatever reason, but we're finally seem to be moving in that direction. The new portal system with the modifiers you're able to enable are going to allow you to customize your activities to a pretty large extent, along with having solo, fire team, and pinnacle activities to incentivize players to diversify and actually use different builds for different things and progress those builds for niches. And you're able to get modifiers going that enable, strengthen, or don't impact your build as much for the negative ones. And simply, these are all good changes in my eyes. I love them. The biggest critique I've seen for Armor 3.0 is that you cannot get certain combinations of gear like weapon damage and intellect for super damage and whatnot. And, like, I get that. But you have to understand, once we get to tier 5, those builds will be possible purely because you're able to convert your tertiary randomized into a secondary stat value, which is going to enable you to have these builds that you want. But for the most part, early on, you're not supposed to be hitting 200 weapon stat. You're not supposed to be hitting these 200 values. That's something you're going to be able to achieve much later. And having 180, 160, 170, those values are still going to be incredibly beneficial. And I think we are undervaluing that in general. But anyway, have a good one.